How strong is Namek Saga Goku? In our last video, we talked about Saiyan Saga Goku and where he would scale to, basically getting him to moon level and high hypersonic based off of Nappa creating an earthquake, as well as him traveling down Snake Road after his training with King Kai. During the Namek Saga, we see a bunch of new feats happen, and I'm going to go over the entire thing right now. Basically, what is separating the Saiyan Saga from the Namek Saga is we know the casualties that were lost, the people that had died inside of the Saiyan Saga. Now, that included Piccolo. To be able to get these people back, they need the Dragon Balls, and the Dragon Balls will only spawn and will only come to fruition when there is a Namekian around, and Piccolo is a Namekian. With him gone, Dragon Balls will no longer come back to Earth. This is why they need to go to planet Namek, which is the home of the Namekians, to get Dragon Balls. Obviously, a planet that is filled with Namekians will obviously have Dragon Balls. As long as there is one Namekian, there will be Dragon Balls. And we know that Piccolo provided that for Earth. Bulma and her father, throwing together a ship based off the parts that the Saiyans brought in, were able to get to planet Namek after a bunch of days. I believe it was like 46 or something like that. I'll have it up on the screen, obviously, of how long it took them. But we see that Goku was actually able to salvage his old pod that he came in on, and he was able to get there through a different way. Now, Goku did not end up going with them. Goku was away at the time, and Goku had his own ship that he came in a lot later. During this time, we can see that Goku starts training in different amounts of gravities. He had to get acclimated to the gravity of Earth when he was coming over here as a baby, and now he's getting acclimated to that new gravity to make him stronger. We see Goku training and slowly upping the amount of gravity that is in that ship, and he's just training. He is working his butt off to try to get stronger before he gets there, because King Kai had told Goku about this threat that he needs to stay away from no matter what he does, because if he fights this guy, it is over. He will die. And this threat is Frieza. Frieza is known as the strongest man in the universe at this time, and he is on planet Namek as we speak. Vegeta and Frieza share something alike. They both want to be immortal. Vegeta wants to be immortal so he can defeat Frieza, and Frieza wants to be immortal so that he will never die and he will always be the strongest in the universe. And we see that this holds true. Even the people that are strong that surround him, like Dodoria and Zarbon, are nothing compared to Frieza. Absolutely nothing. We get the statement that Frieza's base power level is 530,000, and up until this point, we get the statement that Vegeta's power level is barely hitting 18,000. That is still enough to be able to take down Dodoria and Zarbon individually, but Frieza makes a statement that says that together they would be able to defeat Frieza no issue. We see one very fateful interaction between Dodoria and Vegeta, and that interaction does not go too well for Dodoria. Dodoria ends up getting mauled by Vegeta because of the trials and tribulations that Vegeta had gone through since the Saiyan Saga. Ever since the Saiyan Saga, he had gotten stronger because we get the statement that says that Saiyans, as they get beaten and as they are pushed towards near death, they always come back stronger. So what was 18,000 for them had gotten pushed up to way new heights, and Dodoria had absolutely no clue and ended up dying because of this. This is when the godlike Frieza says that he's going to call in the Ginyu Force, and the Ginyu Force are not known at this point yet. During this time, we could see the interaction between Zarbon and Vegeta. The first interaction between Zarbon and Vegeta, Vegeta is absolutely mauled. Zarbon starts off in his cool guy form where he's attractive, and then he turns into his true form. His transformation makes him completely release all of his strength, and Vegeta gets mauled by it. He gets absolutely destroyed. He gets put on life support back in the pod, and boom, everything is good. During this time, we can see the back and forth that goes between Gohan and Krillin and Vegeta and Frieza with the Dragon Balls. Everybody wants the Dragon Balls. They want the Dragon Balls to bring their friends back. Gohan and Krillin want to bring Piccolo back. They want to bring Yamcha back. They want to bring Tien back. They want to bring all these people back, where Frieza wants to be immortal and Vegeta wants to be immortal. There's just a back and forth relationship that is going on between these Dragon Balls, and this gives Vegeta enough time to actually get outside of the pod once he's healed. Once he's outside the pod, we know that he was just put into a life or death situation, and he ended up surviving. He got way stronger. This made it so that he was actually capable of beating Zarbon in his true form, a guy who he was not even able to touch before that. At this time, we can actually see the Ginyu Force show up. Now, this is when it starts to get interesting. The arrival of the Ginyu Force is very important because we know that Vegeta absolutely stands no chance, but what's very important here is the arrival of Goku. When Goku shows up, he has a power level of 5,000 still. Nobody thinks anything of it. We obviously know that Goku is going to be suppressing here, though. When he first shows up and he lands his ship, we could see Raccoon looking off into the distance. Goku is very, very far away. Now, we don't know exactly how far away because we cannot see him, but I was able to deduct the distance between Raccoon and, like, Birder, and then once we've deducted the different distance between Raccoon and Birder, we can take the distance between Birder and the island that is next to him. And then we can take the distance between the gapped island that's behind that. And once we get everything, we can see that he's around 600 meters away. And then Goku perception blitzes all of the Ginyu Force. Why this is so impressive is because we have statements that from a member of the Ginyu Force that says that they're the fastest in the universe. That person is the fastest in the universe, and Goku just perception blitzed all of them. We can see Raccoon completely in awe of what just happened. That feat right there was massively hypersonic, Mach 142, as you can see right here. That is absolutely insane, because that goes from Mach 33 from the last arc, now up into massively hypersonic with Goku. Now, Goku didn't raise his power level at all to their knowledge. They have no idea what's happening. We later on get the information that Goku is releasing his power levels in spurts. So for a second, he will completely release his power and do something and then go right back down. And they have no way of reading it. This is very, very smart. This is one of the many showcasing of Goku's battle IQ right here. Goku then proceeds to beat the living shit out of Raccoon, a guy who was just basically mauling everybody else at that time. Vegeta stood absolutely no chance against Raccoon, and then Goku comes in, who's suppressing his power level, and absolutely demolishes all of the Ginyu Force, perception blitzing them many different times. There's absolutely no struggle when it comes to that. Now, at this time, Captain Ginyu was still talking to Frieza, and as we know, Frieza's power level 530,000, absolute monster, nobody even matches up to him. Once Ginyu comes back and Goku starts fighting Ginyu. Once he starts fighting Ginyu, we start to get the statement that Goku is releasing his power level in spurts. And Goku's upper power level is 180,000. And it was still rising when that was said. So Goku's power level after training after that was 180,000. Mind, his power level before was raised to 24,000 with Kaioken. And he's easily using Kaioken times 10 at this point. And he couldn't even use Kaioken times 3 before. This training that he went through is absolutely insane. During this time, we know that there is something very important going on in the background, and this is Dende, Krillin, and Gohan's interactions with each other. We know that Dende needs to get to Krillin and Gohan so that Krillin and Gohan can wish back everyone else that they need to wish back, and they could get out of here. That is the only way that they can be able to survive this, because Frieza is an absolute monster. They need to wish back Piccolo, they need to wish back everybody that they can so they can fight this. And Dende is making the final attempt to get to Krillin and Gohan so they can make this wish, because that's the only way that they actually end up surviving this. We see that Nail is the one distracting Frieza for as long as he possibly can. And once the final wish is made from the Dragon Balls, we see that Piccolo does end up coming back. And Piccolo ends up fusing with Nail, releasing an absolutely beast-like form for Piccolo. I just feel the need to exclaim real quick how much I fucking love Piccolo. Piccolo is such a cool character, and I love him with my entire heart. His unwaning confidence mixed with the ability to objectively assess a situation just makes for a perfect duo. I have no idea why, but I just really felt the need to say that. Now, before I start talking about Piccolo too much and getting ahead of myself, we need to talk about what was happening with Goku and Ginyu. Now, with Goku and Ginyu ended up using some underhanded tricks and swapping bodies with Goku. He thought that he was using Goku's full power, and he thought that he was this almighty beast, but he was only able to use a fraction of what Goku is capable of using. He ends up just damaging his body further, and Goku, when he gets back inside of it, has to go back on life support to be able to survive. And this life support would take 40 to 50 minutes to fully heal Goku back up. During this time, Frieza comes back over, and Frieza is pretty much unfazed. He doesn't really care that everybody else died because of how much stronger he is than everyone else, even in base. We get the statement again that he has a power level of 530,000, and he wouldn't even have to use that. Vegeta then says, yo, no, I'm not going to fight you when you're in this form. I want you to transform. And he transforms into a second form, and that's when he gets a power level that exceeds 1,000,000. Making an attempt to kill Dende and Krillin, he just picked out of all of them, he ends up stabbing Krillin in the chest, and Gohan gets super, super angry. When Gohan gets super, super angry, he punches him again, he kicks him, and then he shoots him with a ki blast, and we see that kind of upset Frieza a little bit. Now, of course, Gohan was not able to sustain this anger and keep himself in that state. He did end up getting weaker again, and no match for Frieza. This is when we see the Piccolo fusion between him and Nail actually come into play. We see that he is so strong. He's this ungodly being. We don't get any power level statements because nobody here has a scouter at the time, but he's able to match second form Frieza and even go into the third form Frieza and buy time. It's absolutely insane. This is the same Piccolo that was not able to match Nappa or Vegeta in the Saiyan Saga. This is the same guy that ended up dying in the Saiyan Saga by the hands of Vegeta. Now he is back and he's fighting Frieza, the guy that would absolutely demolish Vegeta. Piccolo had such amazing growth, and we can see this now, and that's part of the reason why Piccolo is my favorite character. I love his growth, I love his mindset, I just love how he interacts with people as a whole. It's absolutely amazing. After the next transformation, we can see that Piccolo is pretty much wiped to the ground with this new transformed Frieza. Every time he transforms, he gets so much stronger. He is wiped to the ground. That's when Vegeta has the idea for Krillin to basically put him into a death situation, basically attempt to kill him so he can get this Saiyan amplification, so he can just become this monster of a beast and maybe be able to match Frieza. And why this would work is because we know that Dende is able to heal. So Dende is basically this guy that can heal them, and this plan would work out perfectly. But Dende doesn't want to actually heal Vegeta. He gets stabbed. He doesn't want to heal Vegeta. He ends up going to heal Piccolo, and then he eventually comes back and heals them. But that's nothing. That's not capable of doing what they wanted to do. Frieza is still too strong. Once Frieza transforms into his final and his perfect form, we can see that he kills Dende. Now they're not able to heal anymore. Now this plan cannot be enacted again. Nobody can get stronger now because Dende can't heal. Goku actually being able to leave his pod and coming to them very fast is a super important feat because it's the best speed feat of the arc. We can see that Goku, out of sheer speed, pretty much blitzes all of them. None of them were able to track Goku's ki as it was coming towards them. And why this is super important is because if we take it back to the Saiyan Saga, Gohan was not able to see the Cybermen fighting Yamcha. He was not able to see them. That's when Piccolo says, use your ki. Just sense them with your ki. Your ki can keep up, but your eyes can't. Meaning that the reactionary stimuli that is involved are a lot more sensitive in terms of ki. And if you blitz that, then obviously be able to blitz their perception. So we can use perception blitz for this at the very high end. Planet Namek, although referred to as a small planet, does not really matter. It is not smaller than Earth. The reason why I don't think it's smaller than Earth is because at the beginning of the Android Saga, when Frieza came back with his dad, and when Frieza was there as well, his dad said, oh, Earth, what a small planet. This is such a small planet, it's insignificant. That would mean that Earth is also a small planet compared to them, so I think it would be fair to say that they're relative in size. A statement on the back of Volume 10 that basically says that Goku traveled to the other side of the Earth, and that's super important. Later on, we can see when Goku transforms into Super Saiyan 1 that they're fighting towards the poles. So if they're fighting on the poles, that means he's traveling the polar diameter rather than the equatorial diameter. This is important because it changes the distance. So once we get the distance between polar diameters, we can see that this feat is absolutely insane. Off of a perception blitz, meaning that the time frame of 0.013, this is 3 times the speed of light. Off of a just 1 second time frame, this is 4% the speed of light, or sub-relativistic. It would mean at a low end, Goku is 4% the speed of light in base, and at a high end, he is faster than light, 3 times faster than light in base as well. Shortly after this, after Goku realizes everything that's happening, after Goku has realized how much life Frieza has taken and how he doesn't care at all, he ends up going Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan in the Daizenshu is stated to be a 50 times multiplier at Super Saiyan 1, and Goku just used this, and that is absolutely insane. Goku multiplies his already super speed and super power by 50 again. Now, how strong is he actually? Now, we know that Frieza in base with the power level 530,000 was capable of destroying Planet Vegeta. Now, we don't see this in the manga. We get a statement that says that he was able to destroy Planet Vegeta. We even get a statement for Goku's father named Bardock, but we don't actually see it. This is when we take it to the anime. Once we take it to the anime, we can actually get the dimensions for what Planet Vegeta is. Now, we don't actually know its mass, nothing stated, so we're using 2 large planets as our average. We're using Saturn and Jupiter as the average for large planets, and then we get the mass of Planet Vegeta to be 1.23 times 10 to the 27th kilogram. After this, we plug into our formula for gravitational binding energy, and we can see that you would need large planetary amounts of force to be able to destroy Planet Vegeta, and this would only be upscaled by the actual kinetic energy that was released for it. Obviously, Goku would scale to this because he scaled to a perfect form or a final form Frieza, who was obviously way stronger than even base form Frieza. We also know that Goku in base was capable of performing those faster-than-light feats, or that sub-relativistic feat, and after applying the Super Saiyan multiplier, at the low end for that 4%, after that 50 times multiplier would end up being 2 times the speed of light, and then after applying the 50 times multiplier to the higher time frame, or the lower time frame rather, but the higher result, we can see that he would be 163 times faster than light. And that's absolutely insane. That's incredible. That speed difference is absolutely insane, going from high hypersonic to faster than light. That's incredible. We can see that towards the end of the fight that Vegeta and everyone else had gotten off the planet. They had gotten wished back to Earth. Everyone had made it out. Everyone had made it back safely, including all of the Namekians who had just gotten revived. Everyone that was on planet Vegeta.
Have you ever had a dream that you do? Who can save your
Brother, this guy stinks! Had gotten revived. Everyone that was there had gotten revived, and they had all gotten taken away. They got brought back to Earth, the safe haven for them, so everyone was safe. The only people that were not safe, Goku and Frieza. Goku and Frieza still remained on planet Namek, and they were fighting. And eventually, Goku had brought him down. Goku had gotten himself cut in half. He used his own attack against him. He had brought out his destructive disc, and he ended up cutting himself in half. Goku even gave him a little bit of ki so that he could survive this, and Frieza wasted it. Frieza wasted his ki on it. He wasted his last blast and his last attempt to be able to get away on destroying Goku, which ended up failing. Goku then was thought to have died. Goku thought to have died on planet Namek, and he thought that everyone else that was there had just gotten away, and Goku was the only one that died. But that was wrong. We can see later on that Goku had actually made it off in the Ginyu Force's pods. Now that right there is the end of the Namek Saga for me and for this video. So I'm not going to talk about anything more that happens. That is for my Android Saga video, which is going to be coming out in probably another 2 weeks or so. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. My final write-up for this is anywhere from FTL to MFTL and large planetary for Namek Saga. I'm going to get people, of course, saying that you could add multipliers and add more multipliers, and that they were obviously FTL in the Saiyan Saga, or they're FTL in original Dragon Ball. If you want to know why up until this point they were not FTL and they only reached FTL at this point, you can go to my last video. I debunk anything FTL-wise for Saiyan Saga. So yeah, there we go. Namek Saga finished, and we're going to move on to the Android Saga next.